How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the first episode of WWE Talk with Alec Pecado. Tonight's episode is a special one for me because I will be going over how I think the Bloodline should end their faction. Rewind. I had a video like this last year when Sammy was in the Bloodline. When Sami Zayn was in the Bloodline, and I did the same thing. But now we fast forward because we got The Rock in the Bloodline, and we're going to do this all over again with a little twist. At the end, I'm going to tell you how many titles I think each member of the Bloodline is going to win. So, let's get this video started. So, WrestleMania 40. So, Bloodline Breakup Part 1. How this starts. So, Cody versus Roman at Mania 40, night 2, because night 1's going to be the tag team match. And I think, I didn't put it on here, but I think Roman and Rock win the tag match. So, fast forward to night 2, Cody versus Roman. So, Roman's about to beat Cody. Solo comes out to spike Cody, but then Rock comes out and costs Roman the match, and Cody ends up finishing his story, which I'll get to later on in the video. But so it's the SmackDown after Mania, and Roman's out there complaining that he lost because The Rock didn't help him win, and so on and so forth. And so Roman calls out The Rock. And in the process, he also calls out Cody and tells Cody he wants a rematch for the title because he feels like he did not lose it fair and square from outside interference. So it's the SmackDown the next few weeks. Roman keeps blaming The Rock and Solo for his loss at Mania. So we go to the SmackDown 1 month before SummerSlam, and Rock finally comes back and returns and tells Roman why he turned on him back at Mania. Rock says, I did it because you're selfish and Cody should have beaten you at Mania 39. Roman lays down a challenge to The Rock for a match at SummerSlam. Rock accepts the match under one condition. It's a tag team match. And so the match is going on at SummerSlam. And the SummerSlam match is Roman and Solo versus Rock and Jimmy. Finish of the match. Roman's about to spear The Rock, and Solo steps in, and Samoan spikes Roman, and The Rock pins Roman, and Rock gets the win. So it's SmackDown after SummerSlam. And Roman asks Solo, who are you siding with? And Solo doesn't say a word. Like usual. Solo doesn't say anything. But he motions towards the stage, and out comes The Rock and Jimmy Uso to beat up Roman. SmackDown 1 month before Survivor Series War Games. Roman issues a challenge to The Rock, Solo, and Jimmy to find one more member. Survivor Series War Games comes around. It's Jimmy, Rock, Solo, and Jay. And I know what people are going to say in the comments. Jimmy and Jay would never tag again. This is after WrestleMania and after they've had their match. So it's Jimmy, Rock, Solo, Jay versus Roman, Braun Breaker, Grayson Waller, and Dijak. Yes, I think Dijak does get called up to the main roster at some point this year. Match finishes with Paul Heyman turning against Roman and siding with Braun Breaker. And the winners of the match are Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, Jay Uso, and The Rock. So It's the SmackDown after Survivor Series War Games. And the little wrinkle here is Jay comes out and he's still getting a loud crowd reaction that he normally gets, but he comes out to the ring and in a curious move, he calls out and he asks Jimmy to come out and reunite the Usos, and Jimmy says yes. One last tag team run. 5 months before WrestleMania 41. Rock returns, issues a challenge to Roman for Mania. Roman accepts. Mania 41. Rock versus Roman. Match finishes with Solo costing Roman the match. And now the Bloodline. Here's how many championships I think the Bloodline will win. So I think Jay's going to end up winning the IC title twice. And he's going to be a multiple-time tag team champion, of course. And then I think he wins the United States Championship twice. Jimmy, I think, is going to be a one-time U.S. champ and a multiple-time tag champ. Solo Sikoa, I think he's going to win the United States title multiple times, the IC title multiple times. And he's going to be a two-time WWE champion. And then Roman Reigns, I think he's got one more title reign in him after he takes some time off and it comes back. And then he's going to win one more U.S. title and one more IC title. The one thing I forgot to put in there is after Solo cost Roman the match, Roman versus Solo one-on-one at SummerSlam, at that year's SummerSlam. And that's how that story, the Bloodline story there, finishes. Now, we're going to go on to the WWE Talk part of the show. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please leave a thumbs up on it, as it helps with the algorithm of the video, getting it out to more people. And also don't forget to comment down below. So now WWE/NXT stars. This is part 1 of WWE Talk. So WWE/NXT stars I would turn face. WWE, number one person I would turn face is Austin Theory. I think his heel run is stale. And he is not. I think you have him turn face and turn his back on Grayson Waller, and they have a feud. And then you'll see in a little bit where I think Theory's going to go in the future. Number 2, Damian Priest. Now, this one's been talked about for a while. Why hasn't Priest turned face yet? I think the whole Judgment Day needs a face turn. Including the guy that's below Damian Priest, and that would be Finn Balor. I think Balor needs another run as a face, and he needs to go solo, and so does Damian Priest. But my thing is, I like Finn a lot. I liked him a lot before the Judgment Day, and I know I can't stand the Judgment Day right now, but I feel like if you turn Finn and Damian Priest, if you turn Balor and Priest face, they might start getting over with the crowd. And now we go down to NXT. Here's the 3 guys in NXT that I would turn face. Number 1, Tony D'Angelo. I like the Dawn of NXT a whole lot, but I think he needs a face turn. Don't take him away from the D'Angelo family. Just turn, if you're going to turn him face, turn, unless they're already face. They may already be face. If they aren't, turn them face, the entire D'Angelo family, because I enjoy that storyline a lot. Trick Williams. I think he's the face in this feud he's having with Carmelo Hayes. Which, if you haven't seen how Trick came back the other night, I recommend going on YouTube and looking up Trick Williams' return, the video. It was heartwarming how he came back. And then the last guy I would turn face is he's, in my opinion right now, he's directionless, and that is Joe Gacy. I think Gacy could get over as a massive baby face. I don't know how, but I think he can. NXT / WWE people that I would turn heel. So these, I meant to say these are 3 NXT. Well, Dragon Leon here is the only. He's a tweener. He's an NXT guy and main roster. But let me start with Anderson and Gallows, the Good Brothers. I liked them as heels a lot. Their first run in WWE. I think you need to put them as heels. Dastardly heels that don't follow the rules and try underhanded tactics. Number 2, Chase U. I feel like Chase U as heels. I'm glad they're back. But I feel like if you turn Chase U heel, that'll do wonders for them and make them better. And in Dragon Lee. Now, I like Dragon Lee as a face right now. But I think if you turn him heel and turn him against Rey Mysterio, later on down the line, that he retires, he puts Rey in retirement, and he goes on this massive heel run and joins Legado del Fantasma with Santos Escobar, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza. Not saying it's going to happen, but if he did turn heel, that's what I would like. But again, I think he's going to stay face. Who should Judgment Day lose their titles to? Priest and Balor. I think they lose their titles at Mania to one of these 3 teams. If they, number 1 is the obvious one. If they reunite. Because I like the story that's going on right now with Truth thinking he's in the Judgment Day, but he's really not. But if Awesome Truth reunited, I think they dethrone Priest and Balor at Mania. If they don't reunite. Number 2 is a close second. It's the Creed brothers. Julius and Brutus Creed. I think they could be really good tag champs. And I think they would be the second team I would choose to dethrone Finn and Damien of Judgment Day. And my third one, and I'm starting to think this is not going to happen, DIY. I originally thought they were going to be the ones to take the titles from Finn and Damien, but I don't think it's going to happen now. And in the women's world title, Rhea Ripley. The 3 people I think she might lose to. Number 1, Becky Lynch, and that's her WrestleMania opponent. I can see Becky beating Rhea, but does it happen? I honestly think it might, but at the same time, if it does, everybody's gonna be upset because we've seen Rhea is another one that if I had the opportunity, I'd give her a face run as the world champ of Raw, of the women's division. But I don't like the opportunity here to have Becky dethrone her. I think it should be one of the next two people I'm going to talk about, and that is Tiffany Stratton. Number 2, Tiffany Stratton. And this would be further down the line, maybe SummerSlam or the 2025 Royal Rumble. But I think Tiffany Stratton, I know right now people don't really care, don't like her. I'm not going to say I don't like her, but I think she still needs a little more character development. But I think if you give her that character development, that she can be an absolute wild card in the women's division. Whether it's on Raw or SmackDown. Because I think there's going to be another draft after WrestleMania where they switch over people to different brands. And if Tiffany Stratton goes to Raw, I think she might win the Women's Championship. And the last one is a dark horse. Candice LeRae. Great in-ring worker. I think she deserves a run as a women's champion, whether it be Raw or SmackDown. But I think she deserves the opportunity to be women's champ. And now here's my bold predictions, WWE edition 2024 new champions. Bold prediction number 1. Either Trick Williams or Tony D'Angelo win the NXT title in 2024. Now, this one, okay, so I'm going to explain. If you watch NXT, Trick Williams is the most over with the crowd in NXT right now because he just came back from injury and he's going to have a match at Stand and Deliver against Carmelo Hayes. But what if somehow Tony D beats Ilya Dragunov at Stand and Deliver, and then he says, you know what? I'm a fighting champ. I'm going to defend it later in the night against Trick Williams or at a later date against Trick, and Trick beats him for the title. Or other way around. Trick wins a title and they do title for title because Tony D'Angelo beats Ilya Dragunov at Stand and Deliver, and Trick Williams, let's say for example, wins the North American title. Then you do a title for title match at a later NXT pay-per-view. Bold prediction number 2. Gunther, the Ring General, loses his IC title at Mania. Now, it sounds like there might be a ladder match going to happen at Mania, but it also sounds like it's going to be a gauntlet match on Raw next week to determine Gunther's challenger for Mania. And in my personal opinion, I think it should be Chad Gable to be the one to beat Gunther at Mania for the IC title. Because he finished his story of beating Gunther and dethroning the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Bold prediction number 3. Cody does finish the story. I mentioned earlier, I do think Cody Rhodes wins at Mania this year. I think Cody finishes the story and beats Roman with interference from either The Rock or Solo. Bold prediction number 4. Braun Breaker wins a title on the main roster before the end of 2024. Yes, Braun Breaker is a part of SmackDown, even though he's still down in NXT as one half of the tag team champions with Baron Corbin. But I think once with his tag team run with Corbin is done, he comes up to the main roster and he wins maybe the U.S. title from Logan Paul, maybe the IC title, maybe the World Heavyweight title. Bold prediction number 5. The Creed brothers win the tag team titles before the end of 2024. I think at some point the Creed brothers will be tag team champions this year. I think they're going, mark my words and come back to this video if this happens. I think they will split the tag titles. Have a pair of tag titles for Raw and have a pair of tag titles for SmackDown. They need to split the tag titles. I don't care what other wrestling creators say. In my opinion, they need to have two sets of tag team titles. One for Raw, one for SmackDown. I think if they do that, the fans will actually start caring about the tag division again. And my last bold prediction number 6, Damian Priest never cashes in Money in the Bank. Now, this was a little self-explanatory for me. If you've seen Damian Priest, he lugs around that briefcase and he attempts to cash it in, but then Rhea or somebody else in Judgment Day stops him from doing it. I don't think he ever cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase and wins. If he does, he's either going to lose or he's going to lose the briefcase to somebody else, which would be stupid. But it's a good way to make him look strong, even losing the briefcase. And Sports Talk Podcast fam, tomorrow we have 2 episodes of the Sports Talk Podcast, and they're both fantasy baseball episodes. And I also have some huge news. I think starting either next week or the week after, I will have at least one interview a week with a member of the UNF men's basketball team. The first one we're trying to get finalized is Dorian James. And ladies and gentlemen, if you give me a second, I could show you what the merch looks like. I have some merch. On stream. And I will be showing on stream. I'm back. Here's what the merchandise looks like. And this is what it says on the back. This is the pullover hoodie. That was the sweatshirt I showed you. I also have a t-shirt that I will show you tomorrow on stream. But that is the merch. We also offer memberships with the Sports Talk Podcast. They start at 99 cents a month, and they are very simple and easy to purchase. All you do if you're subscribed to the channel is next to the subscribe button, on the other side of it, there should be a join button for the memberships. And all you do is click on that, and it'll take you to where you want. It'll pull up the memberships, and you can pick whichever membership you want. And also for college football season, we will have an MVP section. And once college football season gets closer, I will explain more what that's going to be. But we're going to have two of those. One's going to be free MVP section, and the other one's going to be paid. And I have a poll up right now on the community tab, on my community tab, with how much y'all want that paid MVP section for college football to be. But that does it for me tonight. I will see y'all tomorrow at 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon for 2 episodes of the Sports Talk podcast. Fantasy baseball preview, infield and outfield. That does it for me tonight. Have a lovely rest of your night. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a future upload. Have a great night. See you guys on Friday.